I haven't scripted for this video, so don't expect it to be so professional. I'm just going to share with you casually why you could be paying much more onto medical bills than probably your close friend or your neighbor or someone that's just close to you, someone you know, you get. Because a number of people actually, we don't pay actually the same amount of money despite having the same conditions in, at the hospital or when you visit the doctor's clinic and what. Here it arises from the mistakes probably we do when we arrive onto the medical, or even the perspectives that we take, you get, when we are at hospital or when we go to the doctor or something of the sort. And we shall dive through all this. Here I take it to be like 4 categories of how it really comes about. So if you're new here, I'm Yaledi, I'm a medical student, and I prefer sharing about how you can really minimize on healthcare expenses, for the long term. Some it can be maybe short term, you really spend so much, but for the long term you're really saving a lot of money. And so let's start on the very first one. The first one I'll take for this is that you never mind price transparency. I'll give an example. Like I was raised from a family where both my parents were farmers, and actually farming was the sole source of income. But every time my dad went to maybe to shop for seeds or the thing, equipment to use on the farm and whatever, the first thing he ensured is to shop around and know the prices actually for everything that's going to, he's going to buy, the seeds that is going to purchase, maybe the prices for everything that's going to be used on the farm. And so he had his bag and maybe even his pockets, and he could allocate, like he could put money in the different pockets, and he knows that if I go to this place, this is the amount that I'm going to spend. If anything goes beyond that, I'm not paying for that. And so that's how he really kept up the thing. But I don't know why it's so hard for us to really apply it maybe when we are going to hospital. Let me say, if I told maybe you're going to a clinic, or you're not, like, it's not maybe an emergency. Okay, for emergencies, yeah, even for emergencies still you can do, but it depends on how quick you really compare the prices or how much you trust someone that's giving you the information. But if I told maybe it's you're going as an outpatient, it's not really an emergency, you can really shop around, you get to know how much this hospital, how much does this charge, like how much does this doctor charge for this particular consultation or something of the sort. So by that, like, you try to compare, still you compare and contrast the quality of the person. You don't really mind of how much the doctor is charging, but like not putting into consideration the quality or what this doctor is going to give you. Of course, quality is not measured by maybe how good or how much the person charges, that maybe those that charge higher, they deliver much quality, or they're more experienced or something of the sort. But I would think personally, I would like gauge quality by the reviews that this person gets. You get someone, like how much people recommend you to go to that person and what. So by that, even when maybe they charge a little higher than the others, maybe you could consider going to them. But if at all maybe you have another option and someone you really know, a doctor that you really know that this one, yeah, charges a little less but can give me the quality that I want, it's better to go for that one. And this gets me to the second reason. The second reason is probably you don't have financial backup. Financial backups, like maybe you're not maybe under medical insurance, or okay, literally not even medical insurance, because guys, to be honest, me too, I'm not really under medical insurance, but I don't really spend so much like when I go to the hospital. So here it's like when you have maybe you're planning to do something, or even when as you're planning for your, okay, you're making your health budget maybe for the year or in the quarter, you try to consider up things that may go wrong. Maybe you just have some funds that you'll be saving. So for financial backup, I mean maybe you're really saving something specifically for healthy expenses. Maybe you have an emergency fund, pocket that you're putting in money. Let me say 10% of your healthcare budget, you're just putting it to, saving for any emergencies, medical emergencies in particular, that will come up, with time. So if at all maybe you don't get that emergency, probably you pick out and maybe you use that money to do other things just in case you don't need, but you don't empty all the pockets for medical emergencies. And this one just gives you the healthy financial backup, that in case of anything happening to you, maybe anything happening to your family member, to your close friend, to your girlfriend, to your son, something like that, can really help you out overcome the challenges that you may have. Of course, we have had an example, like recently I had some billionaire in my country who had just spent like 22,000 euros on a daily just to manage or to treat the mother, you get. So if I told maybe this person never had that backup, you get the financial backup, it would be ruining everything, probably maybe they could need to sell some of their properties, or even the money that was supposed to be fed back into business, it was now going, or it would be diverted to do the other things, and that just necessarily will mean that maybe the business will have to lower its profits or even lower its expenses, and even the way they produce or the way they deliver the services will be much more reduced. You get? So by that, having just a financial backup that anything can happen, like in a medical realm, maybe you can lose something or just like that, so it just helps you out. You get? So let's drive to the third reason that probably maybe would be affecting you and me. Pay much more, and this one is like, don't invest in your health. Like a majority of us, we really don't invest in our health. Investing in our health, I would think like in a fashion whereby we mind our daily living, like how we are moving on with life. You get? So considering exercises, considering like these other things that we be doing, what we're feeding on, like the nutrition, considering maybe the supplements that we take, how we manage our chronic conditions that we really have. Maybe you could be having probably, let me say, diabetes, or you're hypertensive, or you have any congenital disease that maybe you grew up with, and so how we are managing this just gives us that time. Because if we wait for it to go high, we are probably going to pay much more. But if at all maybe we invest into this, so we are preventing for anything, any complications, or even the very condition to come up. Maybe if at all, let me give an example. Maybe currently I'm not hypertensive, I'm not diabetic, and I'm not having any chronic condition. So the more I prevent myself from going into that direction, maybe I mind my nutrition, I mind what I'm feeding on, I'm not evolving into those risky acts or things that will make me predispose me to those chronic conditions, then that I'm just protecting myself from developing all these conditions that might come up. Prevention is always better than managing or treating the condition. And so let's drive into the fourth reason as to why you could be paying much more higher, and this is the ignoring of early symptoms. Quite some signs and symptoms come that are showing really what we are going to face in the near future. Let me say, currently, let me give a proper example. Maybe you could be having, let me say, okay, maybe your father or someone, your elder brother or someone is having, maybe let me say, urine incontinence. So maybe your father or some of your grandfathers or a brother or something of the sort died of prostate cancer somewhere. You get? So signs and symptoms all are directing that probably there could be an issue here. Maybe we have a prostate cancer coming, but because now you ignore everything like this, so you don't mind all the symptoms that are coming up, and by that you come to realize that, oh, I have a condition when it's already a cancer. You get? It has developed into a prostate cancer, and by that you really need to go to maybe for really those chemotherapy, radiotherapy, and they are really expensive. Maybe the patient needs to even to be hospitalized like for long hours, probably maybe until they lose their lives, just like that. So by that you're spending lots and lots of money, and this one is like an acute process. So by that it's like an emergency, so you have to put in a lot of money for doctors to even mind you, like to see to work on you, just like that. And by all that you'll be like spending the money that you're supposed to spend. Let me say you're supposed to spend like $1,000 per day, or not necessarily even per day, or even throughout. You end up spending more, let me say $22,000 on a daily basis just to manage the condition that we'll be having. So having seen all these reasons as to why a number of us are really paying 10 times higher, which one would you say that maybe you feel guilty for committing, or you feel like, yeah, for sure this one I've been doing it? Please comment down, and I know how this video has really helped you out. And so thank you for watching. Thank you. And if you're a new member here, please consider subscribing to this channel, so as you hope the channel to grow, and give this video a like, share it to someone that may really need it, just as you really need it. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye.